Welcome back to Mermaid Bay Tarot. I'm Becca. So happy you joined me. I'm doing a video to Astral Tarot's whole deck collection. So we have taken everything off the shelf and we're going to get into my whole tarot, oracle, everything I've been collecting. Grab a drink. Have a seat. These are probably my most special decks. So I'm really excited. I haven't really shared all of them yet either because I haven't had time to make all of these videos. So I'm going to start with the tarot 25 years later. I feel late to the game. I got the Radiant Wise Spirit. I needed a soft deck. My very first deck was one of the original tarot decks that had the bright yellow, the bright red, just the bright harsh colors. I had a hard time learning on it. And I haven't had a tarot deck in a very long time. And so here we are. This is the one I figured. This is the one I'm on again and refresh my memory. Radiant Wise Spirit. I love the little box. So cute. It does come with a nice little, really soft in colors. Although, I mean, here's the back. And then the images are blown up a little bit so you can get a really good image of working with the tarot deck and the images. And you have like these oranges and sunsets, and I'm trying to see if there's a way to not have so much glare. It's the lighting. Okay, there we go. It is, for me, a dreamy deck. I love the blues. I love the blue skies. So a lot of the skies are white. They're harsh yellow or white. This has a lot of soft, oceany, earthy kind of colors. I think it's upside down. So for me, this has been my learning deck when I got back to tarot, and I love this deck. But I felt like I was missing a little bit. I don't know if there's. You're missing some of. I'm trying to see if I can find which one it is. You're missing some of the artwork. There's the one with the little kid. Anywho, they are blown up and you're missing, but it gives you really good. Playing that one a little bit, and I picked up the Dreaming Way Tarot, and this one is by U.S. Games Systems by Rome Choi. I love vintage things. I love the color scheme. I have a tuck box, so I need a little, my first tarot pouch. So that was fun. Here is this deck. It has like just vintage vibes, especially this one. And I have gotten the best readings with this deck. And I felt like I really fell in love with the tarot and the story and the system and how it all works with this. I feel like this is my soul deck. The images just really speak to me. It is still following your classic Rider-Waite Smith. There's lots of girls with curly brown hair or auburn hair. There's girls with blonde hair. There's sunflower in this deck. I love sunflowers. There's a lot of black and white checkered. I love this Justice. Here's the cups with all your little checkers and the family. You feel like there's like, it's just real people. Like, it's very relatable. I feel like this is just, you know, This deck just speaks to me in so many ways. So I absolutely love this deck. It comes with a little white book. And then I thought, because this was on pre-order, I love folktales. And I think the coloring for this deck was supposed to be a little bit softer than what it was printed. But first I wasn't sure if I was going to like it. Oh, sorry, it opens this way. So it opens this way. There's a separate book about all the folk tales, but it does come with a guidebook, and the guidebook is like really beautiful. I wish all guidebooks had large color photographs like this. And so it's got, I think, a couple of spreads in it. Shows you how to do some different spreads. Here's the backs. I love blue. Blue is one of my all-time favorite colors. So I love the moon phases on this. It's definitely a thicker cardstock. And the colors are very nomadic. Isn't that even a thing? So the colors are very orange, turquoise, yellow, and even though there's like different folk tales in this is like a very cohesive deck. So I think because of the coloring and the way it's one artist, there's some diversity in here. It has that Mulan feeling, you know what I mean? If you saw the cover. This one is called Tarot of the Divine. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. And this one is by Yoshi Yashitani, inspired by deities, folklore, and fairy tales from around the world. And so it actually reads really well. And the images are really quite beautiful. I'm pretty familiar with almost all of these fairy tales, so I don't feel like I have a hard time reading with this one. And I do enjoy this one. And it does make me giggle because I could do a spread with it, and I'm like, yep, exactly. You are telling me exactly like it is. That's what I need to hear. There's some Egyptian in here. Some mermaids. I love this deck. And there's been times where I thought, well, maybe I don't read with this one as often as I should. I think that's because I've gotten so many new decks. But I definitely will be keeping this one in my collection. It has a little ribbon inside. So there's that one. I'm trying to see if I'm trying to do all the tarot decks first. So this was gifted to me by a dear friend. I felt like I was on the green with this and that, and I still question, but everyone's like, you'd love to grow stuff. You're really good at it, and I love making potions and concoctions and things that are healing for people in my bath and body, and so I probably am a green eclectic witch. I don't just following my instincts and my path, wherever it takes me. So it's got a beautiful box, beautiful book. I feel like this one, and I wish it had color for the inside. As much as I like that these are really cool boxes, I tend to not grab them. Like, I would rather grab I don't know. Even this size box. Even this one. I like this size. I wasn't sure if I liked the backs because I was like, a symbol for me has had some bad notions in the past, and you know, I've had to unlearn what I've learned and relearn, and so I've thought about rebacking these. I love the colors. I love the countryside. I love the feel of this deck. The problem with reading this deck for me was relearning the tarot. This one doesn't have. This one has. We have wands, and I probably just need to work with it again more. And then we have. I'm sorry. So they have chalices instead of cups, which is not, it's not too bad. And then themes. I think that's what was throwing me off when I was trying to. Oh, sorry. Themes. So themes is swords, and I had a hard time. Every time I saw this, I was like, what the heck is a theme? So I'd go back to the guidebook every time. And so I think, as I've been working with the tarot a lot more and learning it a lot better, I probably will come back to this deck and just love working with it. So I kept thinking that there was more cards that were just maybe switched around as far as like the suits, but it's just that one. So that one was like tripping me up. I do love that they're borderless. I love a borderless deck. The cardstock is really quite thin. Not my favorite. It's super slippery. So I thought maybe if I backed them, it would make them a little bit thicker and sturdier. So that was like a craft project I haven't gotten to yet. Then I came to watch somebody's unboxing. I don't remember whose it was, but they had the Shadowscapes. Gorgeous deck. I love the purples. I love the swirlies. The artwork is amazing. This is by Stephanie Hu Moon La and Barbara Moore. Love Barbara Moore's writings. So again, this is another Magnox. Beautiful, beautiful guidebook. Unfortunately, and there's no color photographs in white. Unfortunately, I just feel like the artwork is too small. It's absolutely gorgeous on the inside. I believe, I think you can still get this deck. I don't think it's out of print. I do love the silver borders, but I feel like the artwork is so beautiful, you just don't see enough of it. Like, if it was borderless and you could blow it up, I think it's really hard to see their faces. Really small. And I feel like I'm having a harder time seeing as I get older. So, there's just so much. It's very watercolory. It's gorgeous. I just wish it was larger. A larger image. Even this one, it's still really small. So I prefer something with a little bit larger artwork. I'm trying to keep it all in order. So here's the backs. The backs are absolutely amazing. They're purple. They're boho-y. They're so me. But I just feel like the artwork, and I've worked with this deck several times. I just wish it was bigger. So this one actually is up for sale. I will be parting with this one. Then I went to, I think this is the next one that came into my collection. This one was a pre-order last year. I thought I was good with the decks that I had. I worked with just the 2 decks that I had. Oops. I worked with just these 2 decks for a while. But when this came out, I don't even need to say anything about this deck. I just love The Nightmare Before Christmas. It's amazing. And I love the artwork. So even though this is a pip deck, which I was like bummed out about, I don't care. I just love it. It's purple and black, Halloween. It's totally adorable. And I only use it in fall. And I felt like if I worked with this one, and this is a fabulous guidebook because you have a full color page of each one. I think there's some spreads in here. And a few things changed about the suits. That kind of tripped me up a little bit. Look at the cute little purple ribbon. So that tripped me up a little bit. As far as you've got presents, and I totally forget what presents is. I think presents is probably pentacles. Candles, which would be wands. And love it. Presents, candles. Is this one not in order? Sally is your high priestess. Come on, I'm Sally. I love a Sally. Anyway, love Sally. I love Sally. Actually, a natural redhead. Not many people know it. My hair's gone gray. We're done with it. Candles. Oh, and then you have needles. You have needles for the sword. So again, I think like this one, like trying to get used to tarot and all the suits and everything, it tripped me up when there was like, okay, this is needles. What is needles? What is, potions? What is this? What is that? And so here is more of a deck. But the more I work with tarot, the easier these decks are for me to read. I think this is my only pip deck. Could be wrong, but I think this is my only pip deck. I tried not to buy other pips. So I will probably always have this in my collection. I absolutely love it. And I think the more I work with tarot, the easier it is for me to read them when the suits and things are changed around. So these are all Oracle. Yet to even share this with anybody. I scooped this up. Sorry, it's out of print. And I got it for a damn good price. I think I paid $20 for this. I was getting rid of it and maybe didn't understand what they had. It's a Brian Froud, the Fairies Oracle, working with the fairies to find insight, wisdom, and joy. Okay, fairies are my jam. Fairies live here. I'm not kidding. I have fairies playing tricks on me all the time. And these are like real fairies, not like the cartoon, I love Tinkerbell. Don't get me wrong. I love Tinkerbell. These are like, when you think of fairies, they're in the garden, or they're moving things around, and a fairy garden for them. Probably will never get rid of this. It comes with a hard book, guidebook. It's like in new condition. I don't think anyone ever really used this. So here's the I know if you can find this on eBay, it's expensive. So I don't think the box was quite all together when I got it, but anyway, they wrapped it very nicely for me. Here's the backs with all the little fairies on it, the little furry faces. You get instead of instead of like your full card, you get a blank card, and so the blank card is supposed to represent your fairy. What do you imagine your fairy is, and how you connect with the fairies? Who is your fairy, and what does he look like? What does she look like? What does it look like? What does your fairy look like? So I thought, I'm not going to draw my fairy on this, because every time I pull this card, I may see my fairy in a light or a different image. I left it blank so I can let my imagination roam. Not because I didn't want to draw my fairy, but I thought, ooh, that's an opportunity to imagine what my fairy would be. And these are what I imagine and see my fairies as. And I see videos, fairies in them. I know I do. I know they're out there. I know they're playing tricks on me here, there, and everywhere. And anywho, this deck, I love this deck. It can be a little bit of a trickster deck, and it will make me laugh. Love fairy tales. Love fairies. Love him. So, anywho, there's my fairy deck. I thought about getting a few others, but I hadn't really quite decided on it. So this one I kind of break out for like special times. I don't know. When I have more time, I break out my fairy deck. I was doing readings for friends, and they all knew me in love. And I thought, are you serious? I don't know if I can read the tarot for love. I can read it for career, finances, all this stuff. All my friends. When will I fall in love? When will I get married? Who will I marry? Is love coming my way? So I started looking at love decks, and I'm like, are there any tarot love decks that help me a little better? And I came to The Art of Tarot by Denise Journey, artwork by Tony Carmine Salerno. So this is a tarot, but it's more like the size of an oracle deck. So it has a beautiful guidebook. It has pictures inside. I think there's definitely a couple different spreads for love, like the creative part. I ended up going onto Pinterest and I printed some out in a binder, some different love spreads that worked really well. I tried several different ones, and I found a few that seemed to work really well for my friends. I do love these cards. They're really pretty. I haven't edged them or anything. They are like a burgundy maroon with a heart and kind of like a mandala, or maybe that's the flower of life. I don't know, or both. Anywho, really, really beautiful artwork. Like, I felt like this deck read really, really well for myself and for friends. There's kind of like a Jesus-esque to it, and I think a couple of images. And I was like, yeah, I'm cool, Jesus. Turn around upside down. I've used this for meditation. You have the awakening. So it looks very much, it's not like your typical Rider-Waite Smith tarot. It has its own system. And you have the Ace of Angels, you have aces, you have the trees. Look at how beautiful she is. Um, Queen of Stars. I mean, it's got really beautiful images, but it doesn't like a complimentary tarot. So when I was pulling spreads for love in different ways for my friends, I would use a regular Rider-Waite Smith tarot deck, and then I would use this as a complement, as like a clarifier. So if we weren't sure about something, or I wasn't quite seeing what I thought I didn't know what to be looking for love, and in the tarot and how to read it, this is a really great clarifier, and it was pretty spot on. And if someone didn't really have somebody coming into their life for love, this was great for self-care love, friendship love, with your friends, and the support system that you have with your friends, and the love that we bring to each other. So I feel like maybe this deck didn't quite offer, the tall, dark, handsome man of my dreams, or the beautiful, flowing, mistress lady. It actually read really well and helped to answer more so what they needed to work on to bring love to them, if that makes sense. Because it is a totally different divination system all on its own. And so they have the Rider-Waite system compared to their Art of Love tarot. So they have like a grid of what it is in the Rider-Waite system, their card, and what it would be. But this has been a really fun deck to like my friends. So I did offer like free readings and things like that. I had a lot of people messaging me, and it was really fun. So there's that one. I guess this is not any super particular order. These are all oracles. There's a couple of tarot. Okay, so I did end up getting, this was another one for love. Somebody recommended in an unboxing for doing love readings. This is called the Triple Goddess Tarot. Who is this one by? Oh, it's a Lo Scarabeo. So this is the Triple Goddess by Lo Scarabeo. It is a borderless deck. Again, it's in a tuck box. I wish they weren't in tuck boxes. I wish people put them all in a nice box. We're spending good money. Put it in a nice box. But anyway. Comes with your little guidebook. The images are just really beautiful. Again, this what hooked me to was the blue backs. I love blue. It is a little bit thinner card. It's more of a paper card stock, but it's a nice enough quality that it's not super thin. And it's matte, which makes it really nice. The images are like, the only thing I think that was hard for me was I needed to learn all the tarot cards first, because this deck, if you're like a beginner, doesn't have any of the titles on them. So it just has the Roman numerals, or has the numbers only. So this one, we was trying to figure out the tarot, but I think this would challenge me for like my memory, because I have difficulties with my memory, and so that was another part of me wanting to learn the tarot again, is memory exercises. a lot better. And then every now and then it's fun to pick up a different deck, especially if it was for someone that was a beginner. And I probably should not have this one probably as early as I did. But I still love this deck. And I love the images. Get in the tuck box. So this was a really cheap buy that I found, I think for like $5 or $6, is Crystal Visions. Now, I still plan on my deck. It's not a cheap tarot deck, honestly, as far as like it's small and the card stock is whatever. It's not super thin, but it's like just super papery. Like if you got this wet, that would be a bad idea. That's all I'm gonna say. The backs are really beautiful. It is small. Here's like your average size tarot deck, and this one's a little bit shorter and a little bit skinnier. I wish this was borderless, but because it is a small deck, I've seen some people borders off, and I don't want to do that. So since most of the deck is very earthy or purpley, lots of purples, I'm thinking I might just put either like maybe a brown for this or a purple border around certain cards. I might just get rid of the white so it blends in more with the card. So that was a project that I wanted to do that I haven't gotten to. But I do love this deck. I love how it reads. It is beautiful artwork. For a cheap tarot deck to learn on, this one is so much fun. I love this one. I love this one so much. And if you don't have a lot of money, this is actually a really good deck to work with. Love it. And does it have a guidebook? Mine did not come with a guidebook. So if you order it, I think I ordered mine from Mercari. I don't know. This might be a cheap knockoff. Mine did not come with a guidebook. But I learned the tarot and I was able to read it. So maybe the better one of this comes with a guidebook. Mine had a downloadable thing, but I couldn't download anything. So I think this is a cheap knockoff. But, you know, for $6, this was great. I love this deck. Oracles. I've been working on this one. I haven't finished it yet. This is the Halloween tarot in a tin. I think I should be able to use the black ones. Okay. I had them all separated. So, anywho. Black white. I got the one in the tin, so it's a little bit smaller. And because it's smaller, I decided to black out the white borders. But I haven't finished. I just did the majors, which are super cute. This is just a fun deck. It was on sale. I've seen it popping around, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that would be just fun to have for fall. Got all those spooky vibes. It reads really well. It makes me giggle. I love it. And I like having craft projects, so this one is going to be fun to work with. Love it. So I'm still working on that one. This one I came across and was really drawn to on eBay. I got it with another deck from somebody who came across a large collection. Somebody passed away in their family and they inherited a huge collection of tarot decks and oracle decks. How lucky are they? They decided to put them all up for sale. I don't think he knew what he had, because I got this for a steal. It is an old deck. It's never been opened, and so I've been trying to find somebody who had it to show me all the cards. I'm having a hard time finding the cards online. Excuse me. This is the Vision Tarot. Is that real? It's the Vision Tarot, a unique and beautiful deck of 78 cards in which the traditional images of the tarot have been carefully recreated and photographed realism, complete with extensive instructions. The only image I had was the back of some of the images, which is really quite small. So really hard to see the images. I found someone who had an open deck on eBay with this. I forget how much they were selling it for, maybe close to $50 starting at the bid. And they only showed you 3 cards, and I have asked them if they had more images to show, and they have not shown me any more images. I'm curious what's in the deck. This is one I have procured based on this one card. I was like, ooh, I don't know why, but I'm really attracted to this deck. And I didn't realize it was a sealed deck till here. And I have been sitting on this deck for months. And I'm like, do I open it? What if it's really valuable? What's the value of this deck? Maybe I just want to resell it. Are there images that I can find of this deck? I had a hard time finding images, so I could like take a sneak peek at it. So I looked on YouTube and I looked for unboxings or anything of information on this deck. I have no information that I could find. So if anybody has this deck, please message me. I would love to see if I want to keep this deck or not, because I would hate to open it and think, oh, I don't love the deck, and then be like, I opened it, like I opened it. So this one is going to sit on my shelf until I find out some more information about it. I did get it for a darn good price. I may just keep it and eventually open it. What do you think I should do? I'm excited. Oh, I hate waiting. All right. Oh, okay. This one, I said I didn't have a lot of tarot decks, but it's starting to look like I have more tarot decks than I thought. I use all of these. This one I love a lot lately. This is the Tarot of the Golden Wheel by Mila Lozunsko. I love the colors. Teal is so pretty, and the yellow, I just love it. Her long made beautiful. It's very, I don't even know what the word is, but it is a retro looking type of deck. Inspired magic Russian fairy tales. Again, that's what taught me. I love fairy tales. I don't know Russian fairy tales, but I loved the artwork. Symbol of Karma, U.S. game systems. It comes in a pretty box, purple, and it comes with a little guidebook that looks like a fairy tale storybook. Come on, this is adorable. This is why I could not resist this one, but I use it a lot. I've been using this one a lot lately. I like this one. And it has different meanings in a way. That is something else I realized when I read each of the guidebooks. Some of them will give you different versions or meanings or elaborations, possible other meanings of each card, even though this is a Rider-Waite-Smith type of clone. It has these beautiful, like, honey golden, and it reminds me of, like, a compass. And they're just so pretty. And I want to edge it in something really beautiful. And I just do really like the artwork. I feel like you can see the people really well. It's very like readable. I love the dresses. They're with handsome guys with long flowing hair. So got knights in their knightly shining armor. There's some depth of emotion. Um, this deck reads really well. Here's the Queen of Wands. Just gives you like a little bit different perspective on the archetypes. You can see a lot. I feel like you can really feel a lot of emotion with this deck, and I like that. I'm like Scorpio-ness in me is like, yes, depth, emotions. I feel that. Reminds me of like Georgia O'Keeffe artwork. I love that. You know, all these decks are just so beautiful. There's a Page of Swords. Totally different view or perspective, like on her Eight of Cups, like up on the hill a little bit further away. Not even like looking at any of them, not even the two still standing. There's like an eclipse happening. There's just a lot going on in these images. I just fell in love with this deck. That's the Devil card. I love reading with this one. I've gotten some very good reading. So I came across a tarot deck that I thought would read really well for love. It is the Tarot Mucha, Tarot Mucha, and it has beautiful vintagey. I love the artwork. It's got a little box, so cute. Has a guidebook here. It's not white, it's more of like a color. My eyes are off, but it's like a light gray with a green in it and slate green and a green border. It's a really pretty little book. This is a low Scarabeo. The backs are really beautiful. It's very romantic. I feel like this is just a very romantic deck. It's very soft, loving. The colors are beautiful. I love the borders don't really bother me on this one. I think because it blends in with the cards so well that there's not like, oh, there's a white border, so it blends in with the coloring. So you almost don't even notice. It's almost like you're looking and and getting a peek. I haven't actually done a reading with this. I've just pulled cards. I haven't had time to do a reading with this one. Although I love the imagery, and I feel like this would be a much easier deck for me to read with for like doing love readings for people. So, like, if I had to choose, I would probably get rid of my other 2 decks and just keep this one. So that's something I'm thinking on the back burner. I might be cutting a few things. But I think I will never get rid of this deck. I've never read with this other than pulling a card here and there. But I just love the imagery so much on this one. I don't think I'll ever get rid of this one. And that's like the main thing people ask me to do is love readings. So I feel like I should have a lovey deck. I don't know. I feel it's a lovey deck in every respect. That you would want to hear a loving message. And maybe not such a harsh message. This has become one of my favorite tarot decks. I owned Oracle first. The Oracle deck that goes with this was my first very Oracle deck, and it pairs well with so many things. And I love the art imagery. I'm not a huge Photoshoppy collage kind of person, but this is done really well. That I just love it. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. Thing is, it is got the gilding. It's like a silver. I mean, I prefer silver over gold, but I would prefer not to have it because I know it'll probably flake off. So that kind of bums me out a little bit that they did that. And this is actually a shinier cardstock. Their Oracle deck is matte. So I'm kind of surprised that they didn't match them together. So here's a little guidebook. Gives you some spreads. And it's a very feminine deck. So if you're looking for a deck that has a lot of feminine energy, this to me is a very feminine deck. If you love nature and the ocean and mermaids and all that stuff and fairies, this has a very fantastical feel to it. Show these all upside down. It has a very fantastical feel. A few of the art. It's mostly nature based, so it reads really well. It reads like it lets your imagination go deeper, and sometimes it uncovers things that you're like, "Wow, I needed to go deep on this," and it's always right. Like all the messages are always. I don't think I had a deck that was like, "Hey, this is the wrong message. This message isn't for you." No, every time, the messages are always right. To me, this has a romantic feel to it. Ugh. The cages that we build around ourselves that we sometimes wear, almost like I don't know, I see stuff. I'm like, "Ew." Sometimes I read the guidebook and I'm like, that's not what I thought it meant. So, if your intuition is telling you something else, then that's probably what is the message that was meant for you, was your intuition. And that's usually what I like to read the guidebooks, but if my intuition tells me or I see something else, then I go with what I saw in the reading or in the cards. I do love this one. So I was looking for a tradition right away, right? Going down to the nitty gritty. So that's a long video. I came across the Tarot of A.E. Waite. This is the premium orange box. I love this deck. Love this deck. this is going to be like my classic Rider-Waite, other than um, this one here, the Radiant Wise Spirit. This is probably my top third deck that I like to work with. And I only just recently got it. And it's got these orange backs. It's very kind of earthy. Colors are soft. The line work is very clear. And I've fallen in love with tarot. I've fallen in love with learning about tarot, divining with tarot, taking time, going deep within myself. I love the Hermit. I know this one is probably more green, blue, aqua. The line work is there. It's just beautiful. The skies are like a nice light blue. There's no harsh yellow. There's no there's like a soft gray. It just has like a really beautiful palette that just feels gentle. And I want to try to do a comparison with this with another one. But if you look, someone else has done a comparison with this with the Centennial deck, and the facial expressions are slightly different. I don't know how to quite describe it. Like the noses and the facial eyebrows and the expressions on the lips are slightly different in this one than some of the other versions that are out there. And I feel like this is more true to the art. I feel like some of the other ones maybe in the reproductions lost some of what maybe the messages were that Pamela was trying to convey. And I feel like this one, like along with the Centennial, has the best facial expressions. This is an AGM printed deck. So I love this one. I got two vintage decks that I came across. I don't know who, somebody had this one, and I just saw Wonder Woman on the front, and I was like, yes, we have Wonder Woman. We have a strong character woman, strong features. I don't think there's too many women that have black hair in the tarot decks at all, so it's always blonde or brown or auburn. Kind of cool that she's got black hair. This is out of print tarot. There is a new version of Arcus Arcanum Tarot, and it does not look anything like Belgium. I'm planning on making a bag for this. So this one, again, got me because of the blue decks. I love blue. I love the real faces of the people in it. And it has a retro feel. I love things that are kind of vintage, retro, whatever. It's a very unique deck. Here's the Fool. I haven't done any readings with it just yet because I've been busy. But I knew if I didn't get this, I would be really sad because I felt like I just wanted to give this a home, and I do want to work with this deck. It has really cool images. So that's the Ace of Wands. My favorite cards. there's Justice is really cool, a nice strong woman. So here's the Queen of Swords, another strong woman. Just a lot. There's a lot of strong femininity and strong masculinity in this deck. I feel like this is like one of the rare balanced decks where you see both men and women very equally paired. And that was a part of the reason I wanted this deck, was how balanced this deck felt. There's the Hermit. I love this Hermit. And the Ace of Cups. Ocean. So I want to make a special bag for this. I think we're coming down to the end. This is the Druid Craft, and I've already trimmed this deck. I have a Celtic background, history, upbringing, genetics. My husband has Danish heritage, so I really do like the Druid deck, or like the Norse. That beautiful guidebook with some different spreads. This was a very large deck. It was large like an oracle, had green border around it, and then a white border around that. So it was an inch taller and around larger than the regular tarot size. And I really like it because I like that it's borderless. I think I might actually purchase this again at some point and trim it to just green borders, but bought a new trimmer. I felt like I had a hard time keeping the green borders even. So I didn't want to work this deck till I trimmed it. I tried shuffling it, and I had a hard time holding on to the cards. So I knew this was a deck I was going to have to trim. It has beautiful, beautiful imagery. It's glossy cards. It's very thick card stock. But I just really relate to the images, and like, this is a cozy deck for me. This feels really cozy. I don't know how else to say it. It's very Huga. It is very familiar to me. I love the forest. I love the ocean. I love, I go home when I kind of see this deck. And I feel like for the Green Witch deck, that's what I thought I would feel when I just love this one. I think more. They're kind of burgundy, kind of plain, and it had like just a slight border. I don't think I would ever reback them because these are so thick, it would just make it too thick. But I fell in love with this deck more as I trimmed it. I did a video on that. Okay, I think we're down to the last tarot deck. Yes. Nope. There's way more tarot decks than I thought I had. This was on sale. That post-apocalyptic stuff in games and whatever. And I just actually bought this one because it looks so much fun. Insight and Ammunition, Zombie Tarot, Mystical Prediction Oracle. So it says Oracle, actually tarot deck. So, I did some readings with this. So much fun. Oh my god. This is just a fun deck. So it comes with this little guidebook. Zombie Tarot. And it looks so vintagey and yellowed, and this is how it came. It's so cool. So, I don't even know if it has spreads. Does it? I don't remember. I think I did do a spread with it. The gravestone, the eyeball. So they have several different spreads. I did do a few of them. And then the severed head to the major arcana and things like this. It's just deck is awesome. Probably have to do a part 2 on Oracle. Has that like 1960s vibe. We live in a 1950s home. I love old homes, and so I was actually looking for a little 1950s home, and I was so happy that we got this one. The side of town that we live on has all vintage looking shops with the little black and white checkered. And anyway, I just imagine like zombies. Like, okay, the past 2 years, I've actually had people feeling like, oh my gosh, we're gonna have zombies next. And friends were like, oh, we need to get ready for the zombies. And I was like, are you all serious? I think sometimes we take ourselves a little too seriously. I love that this deck is so you don't take yourself so seriously. Like sometimes I take myself way too seriously, and this is me not taking myself seriously and getting to my side because I totally dig all the vibes that this deck has, and it reads really well. It's really funny to me. I love it. I love it. I'm skipping a few. It has a very nice thick paper feel. I didn't even show you guys the backs. It has like the zombie genie. So funny. So like when I need to not take myself so seriously, I actually have been pulling this deck out and having a really good time with it. And look at that guy. It is so fun. Love I love this deck. Sometimes you just have to have a deck because it's fun. And it's a good deck all year long, personally. It's super hot right now. Super hot, so it's fun to like work with the deck like that. Because in the summertime when it's super hot, it's like other people's winter when it's snowing. We're just like it's too hot to go outside. This I waited many months for on sale. Um, it is the Darkwood Tarot, and this one is by Sasha Graham. It's so beautiful. Like I love the artwork on this. I've been dreaming about owning this deck for like ever. It's so cute on the inside. Comes with a large guidebook. And this is the one I actually just purchased recently. And I want it, it's all full color. I'm going to work with this one over the fall. And I love this deck. I wish the cards were just slightly bigger. I'll show you why. It, here's the back. Super cute. So I was hoping, I think the fact that the artwork is a little bit smaller on this, I wish it was larger. But the borders blend in. See how you have like the box blending into the border, so it's not like cut off. And then so you have like a tan, like a creamy beige to a tan coming out. So again, I feel like this deck is like you're looking out. You're looking out at a scene, a situation happening, and you're watching it unfold before your eyes. And so I don't think I mind the borders on this one. Although I wish if it was just a little bit bigger because the artwork is so beautiful. So this one I plan on working with over the fall. I love the artwork. I love the forestry. I like it's a little darker. Um, like her elven ears. I love the Lord of the Rings. Oh, I love all that. Anywho, I'm excited to work with this one over the fall. Look at this guy. You can't look at a tree and tell me they don't have character and spirit because they're just so cool. I love trees. Look at these trees. Um, so yeah, it's got really, really foresty, tree-like, witchy kind of vibes, like all in the good vibes. Really, really pretty deck. So that one I planned on working with over the fall. Now, see, some people have gifted me some tarot decks. That's what's happened. This one I had to snag. Oceanic Tarot. It's actually one of my most favorite mermaid decks. Yeah, it's got mermaids. It's probably my favorite mermaid deck. So, and the cards are in there. There is a guidebook. I think I didn't put it back. That's the thing. Okay, I didn't put the guidebook back in the box. But I love the backs. They are like rainbow dolphins, like the ocean wave rainbow. They're really pretty. This deck is pip-ish, very pip-ish, but like in a good pip way. So like I don't know how to explain it. I'll just show you. So you've got the crawfish. So you got your cup. And there's like a shadow of a dolphin. You got your wand, and there's a shadow of a seahorse. So there. I still was able to read with this deck, but I was looking at the guidebook a little bit because of the pips, and because things were worded a little differently. But I just love the imagery, and when I did readings with this, it actually read really well. I just like all the mermaids in it. So there's mermen, mermaids, dolphins. I like the colors. Very watery. Okay. This was I got this recently from Atypical Tarot Will on YouTube, and he did a giveaway, and I was gifted. Sorry, it's on. It is the Tarot of Water, 78 Nautical Tarot of Water. Came with this beautiful little gift bag pouch. It's got a little guidebook here. I looked through the deck and I put it all in order because I think I did a video on it. The backs of this is really beautiful. Kind of an ombre, oceanic thing happening. The cards are really beautiful for, this one just tells you to meditate. The artwork is just stunning. And I feel really blessed to actually gotten this deck. Look at the kitty. Too cute. So I think what I'm going to do is, since I didn't realize I had this many tarot decks, even though I wrote them in a book and they're on the shelf here, I honestly didn't realize I had this many. It's got pirates in it. We love pirates. I love Pirates of the Caribbean. My son has loved pirates his whole life. It's got mermaids in it. This deck is just right at home here. I think I'm going to set, like, some that I've probably, I think just, I grabbed different ones for different reasons. I grabbed some depending on how I'm feeling. I grabbed some different ones depending on the season. I grabbed different ones that I want to work with because I just want to work with the imagery or dive deeper. And it is fun to own some beautiful artwork and just have it on your altar and something to meditate on for the day. This is just a gorgeous deck. Thank you so much, Will. I don't think I could say thank you enough. It's perfect. So there's that one. Have another mermaid deck, and I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this one because it is a Los Scarabeo mermaids. It's a tech box, and the deck's backings are absolutely beautiful. Comes with a little white guidebook. They're blue. This is what got me on this one. They're blue. They're gorgeous. I don't know if you can see the blue. It has a header and a footer. I'll just show you. It's got header and a footer, and it's got borders. I wish they just at least had the artwork go all the way to the top. And if you're gonna have a footer, just have it. Just have a footer. Don't have a header, so I can look at the whole artwork. That's my probably main thing with this. And it's such beautiful artwork. It's a shame that they put borders at all. So if the artwork is a little bit bigger, and no borders, and if all your tails were at the bottom, I would love this deck more. I don't know if I'm going to trim it. I'm still thinking about it. I don't know if I've seen anyone else trim it. I might have. Someone might have actually trimmed the top and the bottoms off. That's possible. I might have seen that in a video. So I don't know. I think I like the Oceanic Tarot better, but now that I'm looking at this one again and have it out, I might actually like this one better. I don't know. This one is not, so this one's chalices, pentacles, wands, swords. Okay. I don't know. I don't think this one is more Rider-Waite-Smith, and I think that's why I liked this one. The other one is more Pippish, so this one's not. That would be the difference on these two mermaid decks. I'm still kind of deciding on this one. I mean, I know I thought I already had decided on it, but now that I see this, I just like this one more than the other one. See, that happens sometimes when you pull out your decks and you're like, I'm not sure if I like that one as much as this one. I like this one more. And then you work with it again, and you're like, yeah, maybe I like this one more. So, I'll have to think about this one. I do like that it doesn't have the pips in it. And that's, I think, pretty much why I had got this one. And of course, I wanted a bunch of mermaid decks. I'm a mermaid, and I live here by the ocean. And since all this started, we haven't been to the ocean because it's so packed, busy. And every time people have gone to the ocean, around everybody, people have been getting sick. So we've been avoiding going to the ocean because we like to go in the fall when it's usually not busy, and the weather's cool enough and the water's warm enough And we get to go camping on the beach, and I really miss it because I love seeing all the stars out there, and I'm hoping things settle down to where it's not so busy at our beaches. But it looks like more and more people are moving here, and so our beaches are getting busier and busier. So I don't know what we're going to do about that. I'm hoping it slows down so we can go and enjoy the beach again. This came across um, Brian's channel. Can't think of his last name. Is it Brian? It's Brian Carr, I think is his name. And he has a YouTube channel. I found him on Terrathon, and he has a Facebook group, and I'm in there, and somebody posted about this being available on eBay. And this last tarot deck recently came in to my collection this past week, and I didn't even know this deck existed until somebody posted about it. And I looked at it and I went, maybe this deck is for me. Like I'm not kidding. It's called Tarot of the Old Path. This was created by, was it 3 witches or 6 witches? 6 witches in here that created this. Deeply, deeply rooted in knowledge. Writers of many, many books themselves. This is by Howard Rodway and the so this is Margot Adler, Lewis Bourne, Patricia Crowther, Janet and Stuart Farah, Ashlyn Lester, Pauline Newberry, Kim Tracy. So what is that? 7 witches came together to work together to put their knowledge and path of Wicca and their meanings in different spreads. So there's a witch's circle astrological spread, Howard's 6-card spread. There's several different little spreads in here, and I was reading it, and I was like, this was another thing. I was trying to actually draw this out. It was okay. So it's the Kabbalah with So they've got a page on here with the cards that relate to the Kabbalah and the Tree of Life and all that. And so that already all. I was actually working on that, writing that out in my journal recently, like a week before I found out about this deck. And I didn't even know. And one of the girls in the group said that she bought just the guidebook and she spent $80. So this came from Canada. It's like new. It comes in almost like a DVD box, like the plastic DVD boxes. Like you would think there's like a mess in here or something like that. That's how old it looks. It is by Yorenta Vertags AG, created by the artist Sylvia Gainsford and the author Howard Rodway, with the help of 8 witches and representatives of the traditional Wicca path. I am Wicca or Wiccan. But I had a best friend in high school. Her name is Janelle. If you find me here, I miss you, sweetheart. She is a white witch, and we were just best friends in high school. And I got to learn about Wicca and white magic and white witches in high school. And she was this thing, and she had naturally long, black flowing hair, and she was the witch that, like, I come from a small town, so that, like, she casts hexes and spells on people, and does weird stuff with chickens and whatever, and sacrifices and stuff like that. No. She is a Wiccan white witch, and all of her spells were so sweet. Most of them people came to her for love spells, and she's a darling. So I had so much fun with her. I miss you. I have not been able to find you in many years. So if you find me and feel on find my channel, Janelle, I miss you. This made me think of and as I'm finding my own study, my own path, I felt called to the imagery in this deck. So I know it's a much longer video than I intended. Here's the backs. If you stayed this long, thank you so much. The artwork is something in the imagery, and I said, I will never see this deck probably ever again. So fear of missing out, yes, maybe in a way, but not so much that, you know, I felt called to this. Like when tarot was calling me, I knew, you know, is this something I want to get into? I haven't looked back. I've enjoyed the whole process. I think we are always going to learn and keep learning. Some of us want growing, and I'm one of those old souls that wants to not repeat the past, but grow in love. Imagery is just tops. I love the cards. I have not done a reading with it yet. I've just been reading the guidebook this week. And I made sure the deck was all in order, and I cleansed my deck. I've just been spending time looking. I love this one. This is just, I love this one. Look at this. It's like she's like sending them out. You know what I mean? Like sending out her energy. Choo, choo. Fly quickly. And just reactive, and just something is going to be happening quickly. And she's sending out her positive creativity. Just some really different imagery. Different face. Just love it. So different than like any other deck I've seen. I didn't even think I looked this one up to see if anybody shared this one. She's a lady that sold it from Canada. Shared many images. I don't know. Maybe I think you can share up to 10 or 12 images on eBay. This one is just saying that's rich around them. The wine, the food. They're so content and happy. I love that one. I don't know if I could show them all. I'll probably do it on another video. Anywho, so that's how I came to this deck. I let everyone, and I said yes. I said I snagged it. I said I really thought about it, and I'm really happy I got it. So I think I'm going to do a part 2 to this, since this was so long. One more tarot deck. What is going on here? All right. This is my one and only Lenormand. It is Under the Roses Lenormand by Kendra Horta and Katrina Hill. It's the cutest thing I have ever seen. It's very vintage. It's very it makes a great little clarifier for I've done some draws with this. It's got a little book. I got when I did it for my husband and I got the locket. I got the owl. I got the key. And I got the sickle, reaping the harvest. And okay, so this was the first reading I did with this deck. These are all the cards that I got. And here's the backs. They're all roses. Nobody else knows this. But this is the secret emoji between my husband and I only. we sent each other clovers because I'm Irish, and we got married on Paddy's Day. So to me, when this popped out, I just thought, oh my gosh, we got the clover, we got the locket, we got the two owls paired together, and the key and the sickle. We garden together. He does lawn services that he and so it's harvesting and reaping what we sow and plant for seeds and friends and all that. And so this deck just blew my mind right off the bat. And I know nothing about Lenormand. These are just super duper cute. Lots of tea stain, antique looking, beautiful lady. Another Lenormand. This is my deck. Um, oh, fish, adorable. All right, so there's my whole tarot collection. I think we'll have to do a part 2 to this because this is quite long, longer than I expected. So I'm gonna say goodbye in this one. Thank you so much for watching. Me share my collection and my treasures that I found along the way on my spiritual journey here and sharing it with all of you guys. Hope you found this either helpful or exciting, valuable in some way, that if there was a deck that you saw that you'd like to put on your wish list, or some of the things I talked about, maybe if you're wanting to do love readings, I think this would be a great deck. If you're looking for a mermaid deck, I had lots of them to share and show. I think I have almost every single mermaid deck known out there. I think I might be culling a couple of these decks, possibly. Now that I have this one, I don't know that I want to keep this one, so I'm thinking about possibly putting that one for sale. And now that I have this one, I think I prefer the imagery on this one to this one, and I possibly will be putting that one for sale. Other than that, I'm super happy with my collection. The rest of these are all Oracle decks, and I think I'm going to save them for a part 2. That way this isn't super long. It's already long, from like summery to fall to whatever fairy tale stuff, mermaids and all that, and zombies. So I hope you enjoyed my video. And I will see you guys in the next one. So thanks so much for hanging out with me here tonight, or whenever you're seeing this. Please hit like, subscribe, and comment. What is your favorite deck? Do you own any of these? Do you have a favorite deck that you love for love readings? Because I'm still thinking maybe there's an Oracle out there I don't have that would be really good for love readings. And I'll go over that in my Oracle decks collection. But other than that, I love my collection. I cherish every one of these, and I can't wait to work with them over the many, many years to come. So, see you guys next time. Thanks for hanging out with me at Becca's by the Bay and Mermaid Bay tomorrow, because I